So what I used to do there was pack boxes. That's not something that people knew I did. So when I went to the street, I needed something that will make me face everyone and have this confidence. Do you think tourists?
Right,
Tourist life
exactly.
Yeah. You, if only I knew. Oh, God.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted. And today we have an interesting guest in the house. Like I always say, we always have interesting guests, right? But the one today is quite interesting, and he has quite a unique story. And that is why he's here on the podcast today. And he is no other than Lehubedu, the one and only Mr. Coffee to car. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to sit here today and have a conversation with you. Your story has been quite interesting. I've been watching you go viral on social media for all the right reasons. And I kept looking like, oh, that's interesting. And so when we connected on LinkedIn, I was like, I think I'm just going to ask him right away.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
if
asking.
he can come to the podcast. So I'm glad that you said yes and you had made the time to come to the podcast. And so before we get to the coffee part, let's go a little bit back. Tell us a little background about yourself.
So, originally, I'm from a small town called Phalaborwa. So it's a mining town. I'm from Palesayana Mahale in Phalaborwa. That's where I'm from originally.
So we're going to find some gold, right?
Limpopo province. No, it's copper.
It's copper. Oh, great.
So in the Limpopo province, it's very, very hot there.
Oh.
Like 2 summers. That's what we got 2 summers. We don't have winter. And then, And then growing up, I grew up there, and then I did primary school there. And then high school, I went to a place called Brongospruit, Ekangala. Ekangala, that is like close to Pretoria, not far, but not in Pretoria.
Okay.
So, but the language that they speak there, it's Pretorian, and a lot of it's Ndebele because it's like there by the it's Ndebele. There's a lot of Ndebele culture there, and yeah.
So which language do you speak?
I'm a Mopedi.
Okay.
And then I speak not all 12, but I can understand all 12.
Wow.
And then because of the when I was staying in Phalaborwa, just Phalaborwa, we have 3 languages that are being spoken, which is Sishangani, Sepedi, and a bit of Venda, Chivenda, and then. Those would be the first once you learn English and Afrikaans would be school. And then as I moved on to Ekangala. Ekangala has Isindebele and Isizulu. So those are like the things that I learned. And then from there on, I went to Nelspruit to do my my tertiary schooling. So I went to Tshwane University of Technology. Studied tourism management in Nelspruit, the Nelspruit small campus.
Right.
That is where I learned Isiswati.
Wow.
And other surrounding languages. They're like small sub-languages that are around the area. Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm so blown away by the fact that you speak more than 12 languages, because from the smaller ones you're mentioning, you speak more than 12 languages,
I speak more than, because when I count it's, You first learn the slang,
right?
And then from the slang, then you start knowing the original language or the original language to slang, whichever way you.
Wow, that's quite interesting. And some of us are struggling with English, and we still can speak it properly. So that's very fascinating. And so when you were in school, what was the dream? What was the big dream?
I thought, if anything was to turn out the way I thought it would, I would have been something electronics. I would have been in electricity, current, something. I would have been...
Sorry to interrupt you guys. We found the person who is the reason why South Africa is having load shedding. Perhaps
I would have solved
you
the
would have
issue.
solved this problem, right?
But yeah, I would have went into that stream.
Right.
So I had difficulties with certain subjects. Obviously, I got to a point where I could choose the subjects I wanted, and I was like, those ones I don't want. So as soon as you let go of those, you cannot do certain things.
Yeah.
But then again, with lack of information and whatsoever, we did not know that there are other institutions that you can go into to pursue such without a high school qualification or whatever.
Right.
But and then my parents obviously had different dreams for me. So tertiary, when I got to my matric, after matric, I was like, then what do I do?
Yeah.
So I have these things. I don't have mathematics. I have what they call the general stream subjects.
Yeah.
They don't even mesh. They don't even make anything. So I'm like, so the things I can do is law.
Right.
Things that don't need those subjects. So when I got to TUT, I saw tourism. I'm like, then what am I going to be with this thing?
Right.
I'm going to be a tourist. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And I was like, I'm going to be a tourist. I'm taking this. And then because of the idea of what you think tourists,
the
tourist life
exactly.
is. Yeah. If only I knew. Oh, God.
Did it turn out the way you expected?
No, I was not a tourist. I was never a tourist.
But you did study tourism.
I studied tourism management.
See, so just hold on there, which is now telling me that there's so many people in school that are picking subjects and they have no clue what it entails.
So I picked tourism management, and then what the idea I had was, when I'm in there, I will know. So when I went in there, I found tourism is big. I found tourism is very broad. I found you can do a lot within that space, but you are limited to the knowledge you have. So if, let's say, for some reason you go into hospitality, so for you to actually branch off from hospitality to transportation might be difficult because you were trained a lot in the hospitality than transportation wise. So but in that, I managed to actually crack in every. I was what they call an all-rounder in tourism. So I could do anything. I could work for an airline. I could work for a hotel. I could work for a restaurant. I could work for. So the barista thing came from I used to do barista work for a 4-star chain company in Mpumalanga.
I see.
So it exposed me to different types of coffees, different types of wines. So with the barista, we were barman barista.
Right.
So I learned the alcohol parts and I learned the coffee parts, which I did not think anything of.
Right.
So I knew what an espresso was.
You gained that knowledge.
Yes.
But you didn't think anything would come of it.
I didn't think of anything of it. It was, this is my job. I'm in tourism. This is what I do. So with that the difference in coffees, how they must be, maybe what they should look like, that's how I learned. And then moving on, there's my name, the handsome barista. Before we move on, the handsome barista.
I love that.
So when I was finishing off my primary school, I used to travel with my mom. My mom would catch a taxi to the school that she was working at.
Right.
So on my way, because she was a mother, and then she'd like fix me up and fix my collar and stuff like that. And then she'd be like, Mushima yana ko, loosely translated, my beautiful boy or handsome boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it happened a lot, often. So I've never really suffered that, that thing that when you go into a new school or you go into a new environment, people will be like, you're ugly, and you feel. I never really suffered that.
That low self-esteem.
Yeah, no,
because your mom instilled it in you.
I knew that I was handsome.
Wow.
Now, whatever, you can say whatever you want.
Wow.
Only thing I knew, I was handsome.
That is quite profound. Something for parents to learn.
Now when I look at it, I'm like, like me, myself, I'm telling you, I look at it, I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. And then.
But it built confidence in you, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I then went to the street, before I just want to say this part.
Right.
So when I went to the street, I needed something that will make me face everyone and have this confidence.
When you say the street, what do you mean?
To sell the coffee.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, so I needed something that would make me face these people, everyone, and have this shield.
Yeah.
So the shield that I had back in the day was the fact that I knew that I was handsome. Everywhere I went, I was mommy's handsome boy, whatever. I don't know what I called myself, but yeah. So
Mommy instilled it in you, my handsome boy, and it really registered in your heart. That's
and
great.
then that is why and then I went with I can go with barista, your barista. But it's just your barista.
No, it doesn't stand out.
It doesn't have...
So handsome barista was what worked.
Was what worked.
I love that.
And then Mr. Coffee to Car.
Yeah.
I could have went with my name.
Yeah.
I could have done anything. But then,
we are running too fast. People need to understand how the coffee to car actually became a thing, which is the story I want us to build towards that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because people might be like, but coffee to car. So tell us, how did this idea of coffee to car come about? After, seeing you on social media and reading your story, I know what it entails, but our listeners don't. So you can tell us, how did this coffee to car come about?
When I had a career for like some time, a 20-year career within the travel industry. So I'll be within the hotel. Remember, I said I'm an all-rounder. So that was
still tourist.
Yeah,
tourism.
Tourism. I gained a lot of experience from the tourism industry. So I in 2019, I resigned from my job because of work politics. I don't really like going much into those ones. Yeah. So it pushed me to resign. Resigned. When I resigned, I had this idea that, you know what, I'm just going to start a business with the monies that I'm going to get from this company. I'm just going to start a business, do this and that. Might work. Because the money was there. I thought I still have time. I could still support my children. I could still leave, I could still do certain things.
Right.
And then there was a time when it came to my mind that the money is running out. But I still tried to do certain things. Like I was selling ice cream at some stage. I tried other companies. I tried some stuff. I remember I even tried podcasting. I didn't even know what
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to do something.
Great.
And then that time, in 2019, after it happened, and then 2020, I still had some breathing space.
Right.
But 2020 was harder.
Yeah.
Because then
the COVID and everything.
hit.
Yeah.
And then tourism crumbled according to how I looked at it.
Right.
So that industry where I was looking to come back into was a dead industry, was a dying industry.
Yeah, at least for 2020, it was really dead.
Yeah. So I was like, I need something that will get me out of this. Because I can't go into engineering. I have no other thing that I can offer this world. So I need to actually go out there and give something.
Right.
Set alone. Thought, like when we were locked down, there was no alcohol, there was nothing. We were sober. You had to think. I thought of everything in the book. Everything. Right? So living in at that time I was living in Johannesburg CBD. Right. Living there, I was exposed to a lot of foreigners, a lot of culture, a lot of African culture.
Yes.
So there's people from Ethiopia. They drink coffee. They have coffees. They have ways of making coffee. They have how they enjoy their coffee. So they would invite me to these things when they're having coffee, and I would go drink with them. And I realized that this is how they take this. Bitter, whatever it was. But I enjoyed the experiences. People from Kenya, they have coffee. People from, you see...
Tanzania has coffee
they have
as
coffee.
Well. Yeah.
So it was eye-opening that there's these countries in Africa that have coffee, but we don't know no one knows of this thing. We just know that there's this big coffee company that supplies coffee everywhere, but where does coffee come from? But I never really looked into it.
Wow.
And then what this is the part I want to say. When I was there was this part where these Ethiopians and Kenyans and other African people, what they would do was because there was a way of how they enjoyed their coffee, they would get somebody to make the coffee for them and deliver it to the shops. Remember, they have shops.
Yes.
Yeah. So this person would deliver the coffee to the shops how they want it. You can try, but you never know how they want it.
Exactly.
So moving right along from there. So somewhere 2020...
21. Yeah.
I used to get permanent jobs, like cleaning jobs. I'll take anything at that time, It was hard.
Yeah.
It was, I don't even know now.
I can imagine.
So, at that time, we're still dating with my wife. We started dating 2020, so...
Oh, okay, but now you're married.
Yeah.
Great.
I was like, I got a job at some warehouse. So at that warehouse, I needed... This is my last job. This is the last part of which... So this is my last job. So what I used to do there was pack boxes. That's not something that people knew I did. You know, like when we talk about what you do, I used to work for aviation. I used to work for Kulula. I used to work for ComAir.
Right.
So it was an interesting conversation when you're going to say, I work for an airline. And you can tell everything that the airline does and the QR codes and the QR this, that, and just throw in things that don't even exist. You know? But what I was doing then was more embarrassing to me. I felt more embarrassed picking the boxes.
Boxes, right?
Yes.
So you moved from working with an airline to packing boxes.
Packing boxes.
Wow.
So if you were to ask me what I do for a living, what was I going to say? I was going to go back to the job that I used to do. So I realized that I'm living in the past. In the past. I'm not moving forward. I cannot do anything. I'm still thinking, this is me.
Right.
And then one day going to work, it was winter. Yeah, it was winter when I got the job. So I was going to work and then I had biscuits. I love biscuits. Biscuits. And then I was going to work and then I go to the traffic light. I stopped there. I'm like, I need something to drink, Coke, whatever I can find. Yeah. So I drove into a place where I think I can find something to drink, a shop's place. I got there, got off the car, went in, ordered coffee. Coffee came to mind because it was cold, remember?
Yeah.
Coffee. It was early in the morning. So it was one of those jobs I needed to be at my work at 6 a.m.
To pack boxes, right?
Yeah. It was an hour drive.
Wow. So you started searching for coffee at what time? Somewhere around 5?
Somewhere around 5, meaning I have to, you understand?
Right.
So after buying the coffee, it wasted my time. The whole exercise wasted a lot of my time.
Right.
Because I remember when I drove there, I was really driving. So, but when I drove out, because then I was frustrated with this time, I'm going to drive faster and all those things. I get easily frustrated by this stuff. So the idea came as in, like, I don't know what to call it. I stopped at the traffic light. It's like, and then I opened the window because it's cold, but I opened the window. Right. And then I'm like, what if there was somebody offering me coffee right now, right here? And then I don't have to go all through all this exercise and all this thing. I'm getting my coffee. I'm on my way. Right. And then, boom, it's in my face.
Idea came.
It's just playing in my face. I was going to work and everything was just
playing out.
Yeah. And then I remember the first thought was, tell my wife, ask my wife, what would it take for me to quit this job?
Right.
So now I needed to quit that job.
Yeah.
Because I was, this was made my job miserable. So I was never home. Right. It was a 6 to 6 job.
Oh my God.
So at night you were...
And 6 to 6 means you actually leave 5 a.m. and come back at 6 p.m.
You understand? You need to leave earlier.
Yeah.
You come back after 6 a.m.
Right.
My wife is at work.
Oh my
we
God.
sleep all the whole day.
Right.
She comes back, I'm going.
Yeah.
So it was not working for me. And then I started getting wrist pains.
Oh, those boxes.
From there's this tape dispenser thing.
Right.
So you need to get the box. You know how a box is, the 90-degree thing.
Right.
You need to get it there, get the tape. So it and then cut it.
Wow.
So
that.
Yeah, it
I can see the strain. Yeah. I can imagine what it felt like.
So I started putting on Band-Aids and stuff, trying to
minimize
I was
the
miserable.
pain. I can imagine.
And then after that, I came home.
Now that you're explaining this, I'm seeing people who pack boxes in a different light. You wouldn't imagine that they're going through those type of pains, right?
The thing is, I've had the pains before. Like sometimes so I'm thinking something with my wrist is wrong. So I never really do anything that will put strain on my wrist. I never really thought that could. Yeah, and my fingers. It took me time for my fingers. I don't know.
Come back to normal.
Because they were like this because of the holding of that thing.
And wow.
They were hurting.
But now, slowly, these type of jobs are going to robots, so you might have to raise their hands.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the fact that it took my time, took a lot of my time.
Took your dignity as well.
And the fact that I cannot tell anyone what I'm doing. So, when I came back and I gave my wife this idea.
The idea.
You know, we had other ideas of what I can do because of demand, you know.
Right.
And then I'm like, this is the idea. We looked at it. She's like, tell me more. And then I did. I told them, like, with this, we can do that, and we can do this. And with the experience I have. And the fact that my wife doesn't like cooking. She doesn't like doing all these jobs that she... when you go to school, and then you go to school, and then you're like, I'm going to go to school, get a job that I want, so I can pay for the conveniences that I want.
Right.
She's one of those.
Right.
I'm one of those. I want to know how this is made. Even if I was to buy it, I can make it.
Right.
So I'm like, with your convenience experience, she likes fast food. She would go for that. So she knows how they should taste and what experience she would like when she goes to these restaurants and all these convenient places.
Right.
So I had to make her come to me and get this experience. So at first, my airline thingy kicked in. We're going to have a trolley, and then we're going to have flasks in there, and then we're going to have cookies. We must have something to go with the coffee. We need... Yeah, so it's in a trolley. Everything is in a trolley, neatly stacked.
Right.
And I'm going to dress in a manner that it's going to attract my people. And let's try this out.
Right.
And just to throw it in, it was an idea to make an income. So it was more, I want to make an income now.
Yeah.
Because
something that will relieve you also from the packing boxes.
Yeah, and the fact that there was a big gap in the house for
money.
Yeah, I'm not there. This part is not there.
Yeah.
It's short. We can rely on one salary.
Right.
It was not working. It was not. It was difficult. And then, so I took the thing, and then so we polished the idea, came up with some ideas on how to make it look nice, make it convenient as possible. I told her, I'm like, when I go to a fast food place, there's a difference between the W, not the black W, and the red S stores.
Right.
You know which ones I'm talking about?
I don't think I do.
So the black W, the black W, the black W store is where you go, and then the apples will be written, we are sour if they are sour, we are sweet if they are sweet. Those, they'll explain it to you. There's a certain service that you expect from the W store.
I understand what you mean now, right?
And then there's the S store, the red S store. There's a service that you expect from them. So the S store, what I like about the S store, they don't waste your time. You go in there, you take your thing, you go to the till. They ask you if you want plastic, you say no, or you say yes. Take your plastic, you're out.
You go.
They're not going to try and pack it for you, and it takes time. I understand quality service, but it takes time. I wanted to give quality service in faster.
Right, that's great.
And then the trolley. Okay, on the 8th of August.
Right.
I took the stand. I took everything within me. I asked myself every question that I could ask myself.
Right.
Everyone is going to see me. If I have enemies, they are going to see me. If I have, remember, I'm going to the street. They're gonna see me.
Right.
Those people that I used to tell about my job back in the day when I used to be in corporate and sounding all cooperative,
professional, and
now they're going to see me on the street. My children are going to see me on the street.
Right.
You understand what the thing, the mental...
Right. The mental battle.
Yeah, I had to go through.
Yeah.
I remember I was getting close. I remember the night before. I even told her, to my wife, should I go? We can do this the other day. That some other time. I mean, like, really. We postponed it a number of times. Wasn't
trying to talk yourself out of it.
I talked myself out of it a million times. So I went. I'm like, if I push this trolley till that line, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm done.
You just need that courage to push it from here to that line.
To that line.
Right.
And then I woke up on the 8th of August. Checked everything. We had everything. Pushed the trolley. I passed the line. I started crying.
Wow.
Because I passed that line. Right. But my cry, I even feel the emotion now.
Right.
I did it.
You did it.
I'm getting myself out of that unemployment pool.
Right.
I'm pulling myself. I'm shaking myself. I'm doing something.
You're doing something for yourself.
My children going to see me. Papa is doing some shit. He's doing something.
God, I love that.
He's not seated there. He's cried. I cried. I had my time.
Oh my God.
But I'm no longer complaining anymore. Even about stuff, like load shedding,
Right.
I don't care anymore.
Right.
I just want to do this thing. I want to get out there and attract attention. No, remember, it will attract attention of employers.
Yeah.
It's going to move me from unemployable with my tourism industry and all these things that I thought were padding me into I'm going to be employable to some degree.
Right.
And then I went. And then I pushed the trolley. And then I realized that when I pushed the trolley from the house to where we decided I'm going to sell, it's the very same spot where I stopped that day where when I was going to work.
You couldn't get coffee.
Yes. There was the very same traffic light. I chose the very same traffic light as the home to coffee to car. And then I went, that day I was crying the whole entire time. I was like a baby going there. But because it was around 4:30 in the morning, it's dark, there's no one there, there's just me and the cars. There was a number of cars and me and the trolley. And the trolley has an ominous sound of one of those words when
right.
So it puts me in a different, it gives me, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to give it to somebody. I tried to explain it to my wife. It gives me a feeling. It has, I start talking, but to myself most of the time, of my conscious, whatever it is that I talk to. And then I will say what I want and talk to my universe. And because I really, there's religion and then there's, I talk to whoever is good. And then I got there, packed my trolley. Then what do? I'm here now.
Right.
So before that, remember, I had to do research.
Right.
When I was doing research, I found that there was no one doing it. There was no one doing on the R55. The R55 is long.
Right.
So I drove the R55, I don't know how many times, trying to find if there's somebody waking up in the morning to go make coffee. Even if they're on the side of the street, I want to see them.
Right.
No one.
There was no one.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm going. So I was in the middle of the street with a trolley. And then now the cars are coming, and then it closes. The robot turns red.
Right.
When I say closes,
the
robot turns red.
When the traffic light closes, then you step in.
Yes, the first time I did not know how I'm going to work this. I was always in the zone. Right. So now this guy stops, and then he opens his window. Very early in the morning, it was very dark. So this guy opens his window and says, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm selling coffee." Because there was a board. Right. That's how we talked. We're not screaming.
All right.
There was a board. I had a board in front of the
that
trolley
is written there. You can have a coffee. The price was written there.
So we don't have to
talk.
You don't have to talk much.
Either you want it or you don't.
We need to be quick.
Yes.
I needed to be quick with the light and everything.
Right.
That's one thing I knew.
The traffic light closes for like how long?
For 1 minute.
1 minute. So you have 1 minute to make a sale. Or a couple of sales.
A minute to make it. That's what I call it, a minute to make it. And then this guy's like, so if I say to you, give me coffee, you are going to, I'm going to say it to me, 6, 8. And then he's like, give me coffee. And then I made the coffee.
Your first sale. It's so fast.
I don't know. So I'm done with this coffee. There's your coffee.
Wow.
And then he gave me money. So I'm trying to do this change. And then it's like, keep it.
Oh, wow.
Right. I had my first sale.
That was it. How did it feel like?
It felt freedom. I felt freedom. Going there, just alone going there I broke that barrier that held me back. Yeah. I broke that thing. I was out. I didn't care. So I was there for 15 minutes. Right. And then it started showing now. People are starting to walk past now. I'm starting to...
So 15 minutes you are on your own?
I was on my own with just the cars. So now, you remember, I got there early. Right. So as the sun would come out, and the cars would get more. Right. So now there's motorbikes that I needed to... I never really knew how the law with motorbikes. So I never had a bike. So they need to drive sometimes where I'm with my trolley. So it's me and the motorbike trying to make way for each other so that the car, not hitting the cars. All right. And it was not working. Yeah. So I needed to shift every time they come.
Right.
But then that was putting me in a dangerous position, like trying to shift and then another car would hit me or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I need to be safe. I need to be safe. I need to make myself
Absolutely.
safe. And then the cops came, chased me away a number of times. And then from there on,
that's like in the middle of nowhere.
It's in traffic. Remember, I'm in traffic.
Right.
I serve my coffee in traffic.
Okay.
So the things that I did not know, those were like the things. I was like, the law. I don't know the law when it comes to this thing. The law will come to me. This is just that.
Right. So you actually thought about it even before you went there.
Yeah. Because when you try and check, you don't know. It's the law, the language of the law. If you don't know the jargon, you don't know the jargon. It's not yours. So they chased me away a number of times. Sometimes I would run away. You don't know if they come, I'll just run away. And then one day I went to the cop. I'm like, so what do I need?
Right.
He even told me, it's like, we see what you're doing.
Right.
We understand what you're doing.
Right.
It's hard, but you cannot come into traffic with an object.
Right.
So he gave me every example that could happen. Anything, every example that could happen to me. Just me alone.
These are the police officers.
Yeah. And then he's like, make a plan, my guy. Make a plan. If you make a plan and then we see that your plan works, we'll work with you. Sharp.
Okay.
And then I was like, no object in the street. No objects. No. So.
No trolley.
No trolley.
Now I see where this is going.
Yeah. So I had and then I started doing the table on the side. Table on the side was not working. Even the people that were buying during the trolley time would look at me on the side of the road and go like,
and then
I'm like, I can't.
no object on the street.
I'll make it here and run to you. It did not work.
It didn't work.
It just did not work.
Wow.
And I would look and cry and think, what?
Oh my God.
I'm losing that.
Right.
That is what I want. That's my business.
Right.
And then I went home. We had free bags. The free bag from some company that like free stuff from whoever, which we just had. I'm like, back in high school, I went to a raffish school. So they would steal your pens, steal your stuff from the bag.
Right.
And I lived in Johannesburg, CBD.
Right.
Your bag was never in the bag.
Right.
So it would be
I
fun.
know.
Yeah. So I'm like, I used to operate very well when the bag is here. I used to call it the kangaroo thing. I used to call it the kangaroo idea. I don't know what to...
Yes.
So everything would be here. My phone would be here.
Yeah.
So if anything was to be taken, it would be taken here.
Absolutely.
So the idea came. So I need something that will carry the flask.
So this means hanging it in front on your stomach.
On my stomach.
From your chest down to your
chest.
stomach. For those who are listening and they're not seeing so that they can understand what that means. So you hang it from your chest all the way down to your stomach.
Yes.
That is now the new table for your coffee.
The new holder for the
awesome.
for the hot water.
Right.
So now with the idea was, you remember the trolley idea gave us options that we can give you coffee, hot chocolate, tea and stuff. So the big idea was pushing us to have one coffee in the flask.
Right.
So when you come, I just pour coffee directly to you. But then that would close the options.
Right.
So, the hot chocolates, the teas, the other things I want to introduce. There's a number of things I want to introduce. So I need something that will carry the hot water. We have something that will carry the hot water, but how do I carry the hot water on me? And then I'm a very resourceful man. I'm not going to lie to anyone.
I can see that. You don't even have to say it. It comes through from your story.
A lot of things that I've had. If it gets messed up, I'll fix it myself. If I don't have it, I'll make it. If I do not have it, I make an equivalent to it, something that operates as it. I don't care, as long as it does what I want.
That's such a great mindset to have.
I'm like, you know what? Thank you. I'm going to carry the bag. I'm going to carry it on me. I'm going to carry the flask. I'm going to look for flaws. If the flask falls, I will know what to fix.
It, yeah.
I'll just keep doing it until I know if it's fine. And then the idea, now I need pockets to carry coffee, hot chocolate, tea, what, sugar, this, that, everything.
Everything you carry on you.
Then remember back in the day, there used to be like shows where they would show people who do ridiculous stuff, ridiculous inventions.
Right.
I used to watch those. I used to watch Shark Tank,
Right.
Lion's Den. Those ideas, those people had ideas. Like I'm looking at the ideas. I'm like, the ideas are simple.
Right.
They're not hard. You want a cut, somebody made something that you just.
Absolutely.
So I must make a bag.
Right.
Make a bag. And then
so now you design your own bag.
Yes. So now I check online to see if there's a bag of such. There are coffee dispensing bags.
Right.
Or whatever dispensers.
Yeah.
But they're not mine. And then I wanted those ones because they looked professional and well made.
Right.
But it's not my brand.
It's not what you want.
It's not my brand.
Wow.
I want my brand. I want mine. Because then I had started. Remember, I started, and then the bag, and then I made the bag was made in 2 days.
Right.
The pockets.
Right.
I got the pockets from a second-hand shop, a second-hand place. The boot car, they sell things from the boot.
Yeah, car sales.
So yeah. So I bought that thing for like very small money, and then. That thing, when I bought it, was for me to use the handyman's belt, the handyman's belt. It was for me to use in the house when I fix stuff and look sexy for my wife. I don't know. And then she'd be like, oh, my man is fixing stuff.
Exactly.
Where to go,
Right.
So that was the idea. Then it was for me. But then I'm like, it has pockets, a number of pockets. That's what I need.
Right.
So I'm a person who wears utility pants. I wear a lot of utility pants.
Right.
Like I grew up on utility pants and I'm a utility pants wearer. Like I dress in those pants only. So those pants, why I like them is the fact that I can have my charger in here. I can have this and that. I can have a lot on me.
Right.
So I've been having a lot of things on me for a long time.
Right.
So we made the bag and then we tested the bag. The bag worked in the house and then I went to the street the first time with the bag. The first time with the bag, it was when a lady by the name, I don't know if I should mention her, but Leseho took a picture of me. So she got there, she's like, oh wow, what do you do? I'm like, I make coffee. She's like, I see coffee.
Right.
Yes, I make coffee.
Right.
Like, how do you make the coffee? Where does the coffee come from? I'm like, you see, she's like, make the coffee.
Wow.
Right. I make the coffee and then she takes a picture, not a video, a picture.
Right.
And then she posts the picture on Twitter.
Right.
And then it catches.
It went viral.
Yeah. So I remember the following day
you've been trending.
when I went to work.
Right.
So now I have to start calling this thing work. I have to.
Exactly.
When I went to work, I'm like, I'm working and my phone keeps vibrating. I never get time for phones when I work. I never really do. And then I check my thing and then I found that my little sister, when they send me the last board, let me just mention it. When she sends me a message, it's either it's a birthday, or it's very important.
Yeah,
it's never
just random stuff.
It can be, but not a lot of those.
Yeah.
And then when I checked, I found that there was a screenshot with my picture on it. I'm like, that's me. That's me. What is going on?
Right.
And then I found that
they are trending.
People are asking me, people are asking, who's this guy? What does he do? And the realities of it came.
Right.
And now they're going to see me. Now it's happening.
It's out there. A lot of people know about it. Because when something starts trending on Twitter, that's serious.
You understand?
Right.
And then I've had like not really heroes, but people I liked from celebrity.
Yeah.
So
retweeting that picture and the experience.
You understand?
That's how I came to know about you. You've been trending. I'm like, who is this guy keeps popping up on my who is this guy? So and then when I realized that you're not just big on all of these on Facebook or Twitter, you're following on LinkedIn as well. And I was like, wow, okay, this is someone I need to talk to.
That really scared me. The LinkedIn
exactly.
Scared me a lot.
Right.
So now I want this Twitter thing to work for me. How do I use this Twitter to work for me?
You want to be there yourself.
Yes. So when I was talking about the celebrities, there's a lady, Lehubedu Mohlabe.
Right.
she's a radio personality.
Right.
So she used to act on other stuff. So she used to be on a soapy that I used to like.
Right.
And she used to be one of the people I liked in the soapy. So when she got on radio, I really didn't. I listened to 702, by the way. So when she got on it,
right,
I was excited. But anyway, they gave me a call and then they said they want to talk to me about what I do from that post.
Wow.
Okay. What is this about?
There you have a radio interview.
My first radio interview was with Tuso Ntate Tuso.
Oh, wow.
From Mutseding. Is it Mutseding? Oh God, did I say? Ntate Tuso. Right. And then I was scared when he called because he's big.
Right.
It's huge.
Right.
And then I was like, I'm just going to be me and just say what I cannot prepare for these things. I don't know how to prepare for these things. And then he called and then we spoke. When I was speaking to him, I felt a very big sense of pride.
Of course.
Like right now, I don't need somebody to say I'm proud of it. I'm proud of myself. What is this I'm doing? What is this? Oh, I'm doing something here. What is this that I'm doing?
Absolutely.
And then it came the name. So when I was talking to Ntate Tuso did not ask me. Oh, he asked me what the name of the company is. This is the one who asked me the name. I've been thinking what to call this thing. Coffee to you. Because I'm taking my coffee and I'm giving it to you.
Do you? Does it work?
Because he asked me and I was on the spot. And the first name that I had been ignoring came up, like Coffee to Car. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay. All right, Coffee to Car. And it actually even hit me like, oh, okay, that's the name of our company.
It works.
My company is Coffee to Car.
Right.
The number 2 or TO, I really don't care. It's Coffee to Car.
Coffee to Car.
And then Lehubedu called and then I had a name and I had confirmation of what I'm doing. And then with Lehubedu's interview, there was the name founder. There was the word founder. So it was... Lehubedu Mohlabe, founder
of Coffee to Car.
Founder. Founder is big.
It got you by surprise.
Yeah,
a founder. Yes.
I googled founder. I know what founder is. I googled founder. I was scared.
I know the feeling. Yeah. Right.
And then I'm looking at this thing. People call me. I'm
this
getting
thing is
messages.
Exploding.
I don't know what to do.
Right.
But the only thing I knew for a fact was that I'm going back to the street to sell my coffee. I'm going to sell my coffee. But then I need to tell these people who like my posts, the people who repost whatever, that what I want is for you to buy my coffee. I want you to buy the coffee. Just buy one.
That's
one
it.
Cup. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And then as I'm doing 2-3 days late, 2-3 days in it or whatever, a week or a month. I think a month. Let me just say a month in it. And then we had already been speaking with my wife and looking at options. And then it just looked like this thing that could get me out of the unemployment. And then it's a registered company.
Right.
Coffee to Car is a registered company.
So now you've registered it?
I've registered it.
Great.
We did the interviews for employing.
Wow.
We trying to
expand out of that.
So so this is the month thing. So after the month, I'm like, remember when I was unemployed?
Right.
I was miserable.
Yeah.
I'll take anything. I was desperate. I'm like, there are people who are like,
right.
Fathers.
Right.
I'm not talking boys.
Right.
I'm talking fathers. Yeah. There's mothers. There's people who the system have stopped. Like when you get to the age of 35, you're not, no one employs you. Like you are old. They say you're an adult.
Right.
You're old. I don't know. You're unemployed. I don't know. So
you're no longer featuring under the statistics.
Yes.
Something like that. Mm-hmm.
So that was what was happening to me. I turned 35 while unemployed. Yeah. And I realized that there is no one who's going to employ a 35-year-old. So
not necessarily true though, but I get your point.
So now I'm looking at it like I need to employ myself and then make employment for other people who are in my position.
Right.
So, but I need to know business. So I
Right.
need to learn business.
Right.
So during the time I was home, when I was doing nothing as yet,
Right.
I did a course with University of Cape Town.
Right.
A digital marketing course.
Right.
Because now you remember we need digital.
Right. That's where I was going to
4IR.
ask. How are you, leveraging on the technology to expand?
The thing is, I was technologically savvy.
Yeah, clearly.
But I wanted the knowledge. Like,
Right.
how do I? What is what's the language? What's the
Right.
marketing language? How
Right.
do you say stuff? How do you write stuff?
Right.
To get to a certain people. You understand?
Right.
How do I separate my market? How do
Right.
I need to know how to do this market thingies and books. I need to know how to do books. I learned those things. So
Right.
while working, I'd Google certain things within the accountancy, and then
Right.
Google the formulas and do the
Right.
formulas and do all those things to see if I can do my own books. I want to do my own books.
Right.
So when I employ
Someone
an accountant, I know how to do my own books
supervise,
anyway.
yeah.
So I'll just check.
Great.
So I need to be a super. Remember, I was an all-rounder in tourism.
Right.
I need to be a super all-rounder in this
great.
industry because as an industry leader, a
Right.
market leader,
Right. And a founder.
and a founder, I need to know. So when the next person comes, they know that this person has already he's been there. There's his flag. We need to talk to him.
Yeah,
he's a
walked the talk.
pioneer of this thing. We need to talk to this guy
Right.
before we do anything on his territory.
Right.
So with that came the when you're still young and you just imagine, I'm going to be rich.
Right.
There was a time when I would pray to God to help me have a business, but the idea was to have a business. This is what business people looked to us.
Right.
They're just running stuff.
Right.
The fact that they have to not sleep and bake all night and all those things, we did not know. We don't see such stuff. I see you as this person who's already made it. So when you get to your company and you're like, you do that, do that.
Right.
That's what
Right.
a CEO does, right? CEO.
Right.
I'm like, but then who tells me what to do as the CEO?
Right.
So no one tells me what to do. So I reversed the whole idea of calling myself a CEO. I'm not a CEO. I'm an employee of Coffee to Car. Right? Understand? I'm an employee of Coffee to Car.
Right.
The CEOs are the people who pay me, which are the customers.
Right.
So I put my customers on a pedestal. I put my customers first. You can say whatever you want. Everything that I think of is my customers.
Wow.
So
your customers are the CEO.
They are my CEOs.
That is so profound.
So that's why when I do the morning,
you offer the best service.
My good morning CEOs. The people who pay me, the people who decide what time I should be there, the people who tell me the product they want, the people who do everything.
Now
you
I
understand?
get it.
Those are the people who, if they stop,
there's no you.
Get it? So those are the people I need to put first. So the product is made around the market that I want. So that's why, hence, I use a certain...
Let's pause there. What you've just said is so profound that I think every business leader out there should really hear and try to emulate. If your customers stop, there's no CEO. Why take a position?
Who's going to tell you what to do?
Exactly.
Because you need to know how to tell what the people who are going to be working with me.
Right.
I need to let them know that those CEOs, the people who want the coffee, are saying
they're the ones paying your salary.
Be more friendly.
Right.
Be more. Those guys pay your salary. I'm not paying your salary. I'm just making sure you get it. I'm just making sure you get it.
This is a completely mind-blowing perspective that I've never really thought about it.
So when I put them first, they can. So irrespective. So the bag had to be agile. By the way, it had to be moving. I'm in traffic. Remember, I need to move in the traffic.
We're gonna demonstrate it at some point because I know you came with it.
So when you call me, when you call me for coffee. Quickly, I need to be by your window, and it takes 10 seconds to make a cup.
Right.
So you see how quick it is.
That's fast.
10 seconds. Cut
You
down.
have 1 minute to do many of those.
So if I do that, so the biggest I've done, the number of cups I've done at a go was 5, which was quite demanding.
Right.
Because remember, I got 10 seconds to make
Right.
one, and I'm making 5, one after another.
Right.
So it's
Fast.
so and my brain,
It's also raising.
I don't know. Sometimes my brain is quicker than my reaction. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking I'm at 5 and I'm on 3, but I quickly do it, and then I would talk to my customers. I do talk to them. I want to know how they feel. I want to know how they. So one thing that you're going to get guaranteed from Coffee to Cup without just stepping in, just seeing me, it's a good morning message. Guaranteed, you're going to get a good morning message.
Right.
And then from there on, a smile. I'm always smiling.
Of course, I can see that.
I'm always smiling. When I stopped the complaining, complaining, and then I said, I'm not gonna complain to anyone. I'm just going to smile and be happy.
You stop complaining. You look for the solutions to your own problem. You didn't wait on the government. You didn't wait on any politician. You didn't wait on corporate. You were like, this is me. I'm going out there and I'm going to find a solution.
I'm going to make one. And then coming to the government. Remember,
starting from a frustration that you had with the coffee, that I couldn't get coffee in time the way I wanted it. So I'm going to solve this problem, not just for myself, but for many of the community, in this area.
Exactly.
Which reminds me of the story of how Uber came to be. I'm sure you must have heard the story. Like these two guys were stranded somewhere in the night and they were like, why can't there be a system where you press a button and a taxi picks you from wherever you are? And that's how the Uber story was born, literally. Frustration is a good thing, but then some people, when they feel the frustration, they don't engage their thinking, like, how do I solve this?
So I think with me, it was because I was praying.
Yeah.
I was praying to get a gap.
Right.
I was praying for something that would differentiate me from everybody else.
Yeah.
I never wanted
also,
to
you have a different mindset and the way you look at life. Like,
Thank you.
You're not the person who will play victim.
No.
You see that reaction? Exactly.
Whoa. Let me
Some people will cry, feel that frustration, but they're blaming the government. They are not doing anything towards it. One of the highlights in my book is about being resourceful. No matter where you are, you can be resourceful. Look at where that led you.
You know what the attitude, some attitudes I picked up from. There can be war in your country,
right?
And then you run away because there's nothing that you can do. You
right.
run away. You go to a country. You go to a foreign country.
Right.
What do you do in a foreign country? What skills do you have? You're a teacher in your country. You're in a foreign land. You cannot be a teacher there. You're not allowed to be anything. What do? Yeah. You need to survive.
Absolutely.
And then, luckily, when I was living in Joburg CBD, I saw that they were surviving and what they were doing.
Right.
I'm like, so if I was to be stuck in a foreign country,
right.
I need to have a skill that can multiply me, that can multiply my wealth. If I have 10 rand, I need to have a skill that could make it 20.
Right.
Then I can move
Absolutely.
from there. So sales.
I've sold on the street in Joburg CBD, by the way, so I know what you mean when you keep mentioning Joburg CBD. I know the life there. It's a story for another day, but I know what it feels like being in that situation where you need to find a way to survive, right? Now, when I pass sometimes with my kids, I take them to the CBD, I show them where I used to sit. Like, hey, mommy used to sit there. I used to sell there. That was my corner. And, it's been so long, but there are people that I left on the streets that are still there, literally still there. So anyway, you know what? Your story is so brilliant that we could talk for hours and hours and hours. I would like you to show us how this is actually done because you came in with your stuff. Wow, your story is so amazing. And now I can't wait to see the demonstration of how this is really done. So take us through.
All right. So after you shout coffee, I'm at your window. Cup.
Wow.
So the traffic light is I'm busy like talking to you. So how's the day?
Oh wow.
So it's a Wednesday. So how's the hump day?
Wow.
Then we mostly done so by this stage.
No sugar for me, by the way. So
no. I really don't put sugar in any unless otherwise it's specified.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
right. Great.
And then
oh my
You have your
God.
10 seconds and then...
Look at that. Oh
done.
my God. This is happening at a traffic light.
At a traffic light.
Solving the problem that people have when going to work. You don't have to go rushing for coffee. You just get it by the traffic light.
And with the, so that bag would have like the cuckoo.
Right.
So you have the biscuits. So straight to the meeting, no kitchen in the morning, straight to the meeting.
This is amazing.
So
oh, wow. Wow. Oh, I see. I love this. It's so hot.
Yeah, it's still hot.
It's really hot.
It's from my shift.
Yes. It's really hot. Oh my God.
Quality product.
This is nice.
There's a customer that I'm working with. There's a customer I want. The customer that appreciates good
This is
stuff.
amazing. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. Like, you've left me speechless.
Thank you.
Your skills, your attitude, your resourcefulness, your ability to make things happen, your ability to pull yourself out of the depressive state in which you found yourself doing a job that you were embarrassed about. It's been really fascinating for you to come through.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for lighting my day. I think I'm more inspired than anyone listening to this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming through. What is your last word to someone out there who is probably in the state that you found yourself before?
You know,
Right.
my sisters, thank you very much, guys. My wife, my beautiful wife, Lehubedu Mohlabe. Thank you. My children, thank you. Papa, all the guys.
To someone who is watching you and they're also like, I'm in that place.
Yeah.
Where he was. How do I pull myself out?
In that hole, I call it a hole or a pool of depression.
Yeah.
So you need a change of attitude first. You need to change your attitude.
Right.
You need to be willing. You know when you wish for something,
Right.
you need to be ready for that thing.
Right.
You know, like you can wish for lotto
Right.
and you win it,
Right.
and then you blow it.
Absolutely.
Right? So you need to be ready for it. So whatever you wished for, you know you are ready for it. So just start it.
Right.
The thing I keep telling people is start.
Right.
And then everything else will just
You
follow.
figure
the
it out.
education, whatever,
Right.
will just follow.
Right.
Start. Whenever, just
Right. Just
start.
the way you did it. When even though the police came, the law came after you,
The law
you
came.
look for another way
now I know the
to
law.
reinvent the whole thing, the whole idea.
You understand.
Someone would have just given up and said, well, the police, they say I can sell on the street. But you didn't. You look for another way. You brought the table, it still didn't work. You look for another way. Now you have everything on you, which is quite inventive, innovative, and amazing. These are the type of stories that we want on this podcast. So thank you for coming through.
Thank you very much.
There we have it, guys. The only one and only Mr. Coffee to car.